For the inauguration, he told me in the car that, Madam MD, if you don't do what I say, the same pen with which I used to sign your letter, it will be the same pen that I will use to remove you. He said the first thing I should do when I get to Port Harcourt is to change the dollars in the NDDC account. And guess what? Akpabio never signs any documents. He will always refuse to sign, but he will tell you to go and commit the fraud. For instance, he told me to go and raise a memo and give an emergency contract for flood victims. I am challenging him to deny any of these allegations because I have to round up for you people. But all the facts and all that I've said are all written in my document.
All right, I don't know if Akpabio is going to sue John Union for this allegation as well, because, I mean, this is serious defamation. But what ended this crisis? I mean, what's happening? Off your mic, there was an incident.
I'll tell you, see, this country is close to finished if care is not taken.
If care is not taken.
It's close to finished. This episode, all of a sudden, Senate President Mr. Akpabio now comes and says he wants to sue John Union. What happened in the last 5 years? Till today, has he even told us what happened as regards the money that was misappropriated in the NDDC? Wasn't it off your mark that ended it? That's why I say it's close to finish. And Nigeria moved on. Because off your mark, and what next happened? Professor Ponde fainted. 5 years after, he never did anything. The question we should even ask, how did Mr. Akpabio get to the Senate? You remember the Supreme Court judgment? He went to run for presidency at some point. He came back, they said he had a placeholder agreement. And the Supreme Court ruled. That's how I got through the process in the first place. So it also goes back to our court process. Mm-hmm. And as for the person that said he doesn't want to interfere in Natasha's matter, but all of a sudden he's interfering.
Who's that, Reno Mokri?
Anyway,
yes.
We have seen a trajectory. So and that's why I said I would not use my time to watch videos like that, with due respect. You see, this Natasha's call is an indictment on all of us as a country. And we fail to realize that. I've been able to chart the narrative for you. People with all sorts of questionable character get to the top. It's as if it's the criminals that get through the cracks in this country. And that's the system we've built. A woman said she was sexually harassed. Investigate is a problem.
Investigate. That's all we are calling for. Investigation.
If in a point when Natasha can't prove her point,
yes,
I would be the one to come on and abuse the hell out of Natasha for wasting her time. If she can't prove her points. Like Voltaire says, I will do everything to make you. I might disagree with you, but I will do everything to make you have your say. Investigate. They tried to prevent her. They quickly suspended her. There's another scandal brewing that I'm hearing. It will come out soon. As regards even the people that signed that attendance. It will come out soon. I hear some senators are already disgruntled.
Yes.
It will come out soon.
All right, still on
Then we now had the cases of somebody that was debarred many years ago in New York, even leading the ethics committee, and everything that transpired in that system. Then now to move it further, like I said last week, it's women that we always support the injustice against women.
Not always, not always. Some women.
And I'm going to prove it to you.
Some women.
Some women.
Yeah, the word is some women.
Yes.
Some women. Because yes, there are some good women.
Because we have seen in Nigeria so far, even the top senators, the female senators.
But we are seeing,
okay.
we are seeing how women support this injustice against other women because it's easier for them to be used in telling the narrative. All we are saying, we are not saying that Akpabio or Natasha is right or wrong. Right. We are saying please investigate the matter. But all the attempts have tried to sweep the matter under the carpet. So for those that want to sue John Union, please, they should also tell us what happened in the NDDC case. Why was that case swept under the carpet?
Yes. Yeah. All right.
And probably the courts will also be able to tell us.
All right, so we're still on this matter, though. One of the reactions that have trailed the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan is an old video showing South African politician Julius Malema, who is a member of the country's National Assembly, challenging the Speaker of the House of making illegal decisions on some members of Parliament from the economic freedom fighters who were served with charges after they demanded that former President Jacob Zuma pays back government money spent on his private home. Let's take a look.
That's all what we're asking. We're not going to take a seat here on issues that are illegal here. We're being subjected to an illegal process.
I'm going to have to throw you out of the House.
How do you throw me? Which rule? Which rule is that? On which rule?
Honorable
point in the rule book. Which rule are you applying? You keep on taking illegal decisions. And the courts keep on reversing your decisions because they are illegal. You keep on taking illegal decisions. And we cannot sit back and allow every time you take a wrong decision, we must go to court. The court has just ruled against you yesterday because of this conduct. Please, let's stick to the rules. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not here on your invitation. I'm elected to be here. And the EFF has been elected to be here. And its questions must be answered by the president. We have a right to hold the executive accountable.
They have the right to hold the executive accountable. I mean, this is exactly the thing that played out with Senator Natasha Akpoti, challenging her rights and privileges to speak, and her misconduct was what led to her suspension. Are we a democracy?
Suspension.
Is this a real country? How can you have a suspension when you're only trying to exercise your, democratic right or whatever it is? If she was allowed to speak, because I heard in her conversation she was saying, Order 10 on privileges, there's nowhere it says you cannot, speak on that order if you're on your seat. She had that claim in the rule book. Absolutely, it's not there. But this is the point I'm making with this video. Is this a democracy, Ayo? Is this a democracy, Rufai? Well, in the meantime, human rights lawyer Femi Falana has criticized the Senate for suspending Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan. He described the suspension as an abuse of power. Falana, in a 13-point statement on Monday, warned that suspending legislators at the whims and caprices of leaders of the federal and state legislative houses must not be allowed to continue in Nigeria. The SAN added that courts have reinstated all lawmakers previously suspended by the national or state legislatures, pointing out past court rulings, including by the Court of Appeal, as proof that Akpoti Uduaghan's suspension could be overturned. I'll read points 12 and 13 of Falana's statement. Femi Falana's statement reads in part: in view of the definitive pronouncements of several high court and the Court of Appeal on illegality of the suspension of elected members of legislative houses in Nigeria, the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan is the height of legislative recklessness. The illegal suspension should be lifted without any further delay, since the Federal High Court had restrained the Senate Ethics Committee from hearing the complaint against the embattled senator pending the determination of the motion on notice. The Senate ought to have stayed action in accordance with the rule of law. 13. Finally, the official impunity of suspending legislators at whims and caprices of leaders of the federal and state legislative houses must not be allowed to continue in Nigeria. I mean, that is the actual point at this moment.
Yeah,
go ahead.
So a lawyer has come out, since they say that in the same vein, it's interesting that the Senate, which must be aware of previous cases and precedents, not just at National Assembly, but even State House of Assembly level, as cited by Mr. Femi Falana, ought to have known the remits of their powers, and that they didn't have the powers to actually suspend her for 6 months and withhold her pay, withhold the pay of her aides, withdraw her security outfits. It sparks more than meets the eye. Mm-hmm. There was a senator, Oji, that slapped another senator in the House. They gave him 2 weeks suspension.
Can you imagine?
Can you compare that to what Senator Akpoti Uduaghan has done? No. So it's a lot of things, and that's why it's embarrassing for Nigeria when these international newspapers then begin to prey on news here and begin to talk about how badly run our Senate is. And that's why people have been talking about the institution. Right. Forget about the individuals or personalities. It's about the institution. We must protect the institution of the Senate, and it must be seen to be fair and balanced.
For me, it's the speedy nature in which they submitted her suspension. That was it for me. What was the hurry for? What was the rush? She didn't even get to be heard. But in the meantime, here's a video showing a content creator who goes by the name Mr. Wi-Fi on TikTok, lamenting about the state of the road leading to the House of Senator representing Edo South, Neda Imaswen, who is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges and Public Petition. Or the content creator accused the senator of neglecting his obligations in his community, but was quick to recommend Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan's suspension. Let's take a look.
My people, this road now leads to Senator Neda Imaswen house. Senator representing Edo South presently. In case you don't know the man when you handle Natasha and Akpabio case, when refer Natasha to suspension for 6 months, that be Senator Neda Imaswen. See road when Senator Neda Imaswen dey. What have you done me? Sir, you dey fit the handle woman case for House of Assembly. You dey fast. You dey handle woman case, Natasha case. You dey suspend her. But see your road. We be like we don't get senator for Edo South. Or that come and say about Edo people what you don't do for Edo South. Even the road to your house is not good. Sir, you dey active for Senate. You dey submit petition. They say may they suspend Natasha. How far I come and be? How you come and be? We feel say maybe you know they talk for House of Assembly or for Senate House. We don't know say you they talk well.
Man, they talk well. They even suspend people. How far? How we be, Rufai? How we be? I mean, look at this man saying zero, though. Zero. Can I take Atedo's tweet before I come to you? Let me take Atedo Peterside's tweet, who's made a comment regarding this whole incident. Atedo Peterside wrote, the most disturbing aspect of the Nigerian Senate hula baloo around Natasha Akpoti is that the Senate leadership must be aware that their suspension for 6 months is ultra-virus and also disrespectful to our constituents in Kogi State. But they don't care. Hashtag I stand with Natasha Akpoti. Okay. This is the main point. I want to unpack the fact that this man is calling out this senator who has bad roads in his place. He hasn't submitted a petition for the roads. What's happening?
They don't care.
That's the point.
And that's it. What's the point? They don't care. rather than focus on their own Falana Akpoti, they are so quick to set up this. Their kangaroo court is proven now. You forget that the chairman of the ethics committee is a lawyer. Anyway, there are stories about him being debarred at some point in New York. And they cleverly pushed the case forward. A lot of people are looking at that process again and say, why quickly push the case forward when there's a court order? They confirmed that the court order was served. They violated the court order. You went ahead, you suspended the woman. You didn't just only suspend her, you took away her privileges.
Yes.
You took away her security. You took away everything from her because you want to prove a point. All we are saying on this matter is investigate. Nobody's saying Natasha is right or wrong. But once they hear investigate, their heart starts to do jim. Please, in a case where we find out the truth of this matter, we will be the ones also to come and report it. We're not taking any sides in this. All we just want, there should be an investigation, independent investigation that will get to the root of the matter. But I'm not surprised. You know why I'm not surprised? This is the same Senate orgy that added extra 170 billion. I mean, this same National Assembly that added extra 170 billion to their 344 billion in their budgets. And the senator that will say he's going back to do constituency projects, look at the road around his vicinity. I'm not saying he can do it all. So it has shown that these people are disconnected from the people. And that's why I don't see the need for these constituency projects. It's just an easy campaign tool for them. Because when they come back, they claim